Hi, everyone. November was all about our home, about good stewardship, rhythms, and creating peace. How I'm going to share with you how we set out to do that and what actually worked. So, we set out to reset our home, to create daily and weekly rhythms, as well as declutter and have systems in place to maintain the home. What worked for us was doing what I'm calling a birthday party reset. So, why this really worked was we had to work together. It got all hands on deck because we were hosting a birthday party and our house had to be host ready by the time that party was going to come. So, we took 1 week and we all worked together to get the main living spaces done. And that was our home reset. And it was lovely because that really created the blank slate to to start these systems and rhythms. So I love that. Then the next thing we used was the Sidetracked Home Executives. In case you didn't get your chance to read the book, I'm going to briefly explain it to you. The Sidetracked Home Executives is an index card system where you're putting everything down onto these cards. Anything that you do not already have a system for is going onto a card, as well as the amount of time it takes to do the task. So whether it's weekly, daily, monthly, quarterly, even annually, you're going to put it on these cards, and each day you look at what the day's tasks are. The other thing I loved about this system is it had you create a master card for your weekly routine and your weekly meal. For example, if on Wednesday, you're going to have Wednesday be your errand day. So we have co-op once a week. We're going to say it's Wednesday. That would be a good day to do errands or get groceries because we're already out and about. It also would be a good day for me to have a meal in the crock pot so that when we get home, I'm not having to figure out dinner. So you can see how those two really go hand in hand. I loved this because it shifted my mind and had me thinking about things differently on how I can really create systems that are going to be maintained over the long haul and create the home that I really desire. The other thing we used, it was atomic habits, which is the habit stacking is what we used out of that book. And I shifted this a little bit. We had already been cleaning up after meals. So how I use that for habit stacking and kind of changed it a little was after our morning meal, we are doing light chores. So that means we're just cleaning our dish and putting it away. That way, we could start our lessons on time to be sure that we're starting our lessons early and are completing those by lunch. Then after lunchtime, we're doing our bigger like maintenance chores for the week, the sweeping, the mopping, the scrubbing the bathroom, those kinds of things. That worked out phenomenally. So how I did this was I shifted it into an electronic calendar. This allowed the kids to take responsibility for their own chores. Every time they did a chore, they were able to check it off. It also made it so they're in charge of their own thing. I didn't have to look at note cards. I didn't have to. It was a lot easier than setting up a note card system for every one of the children. And it took that away from me. So I don't have to think about whose chore is it today, or it simplified the process for myself and for the kids and allowed them to really take ownership of it. So that's something that I really loved. I am now going to take you around the house. Let's check it out and see how things are now. All right, this is our classroom area and I am loving it. Let me shift things a little bit so you can see the whole room. There we go. So I love our new classroom. We added the couch in here, which has been a game changer because this allows me to do things with the little kids while the big kids are doing lessons at the desk. I also love how it opened up our living room space. So we have a lot more room. And you can see there's little things that we did. So I have the blanket basket there so that we can put our blankets away. And it's not perfect, guys. We have right now, there's picture frames out that need to be put up. And I have to laugh. My son wanted a game off of the cabinet shelf. So, of course, he got all the games down. And now I can take that as an opportunity. He's got those down. I can take it as an opportunity to tidy those up and clean those up. If you have any great ideas for games, I would love to hear them because as you can see, I tried to do the bags, take them out in the bags, and I would not recommend that. If you saw it on Pinterest, that's not one of the things to do. This is the entryway, and I love my husband put off this shelf. I've been wanting one for a while. I'm so happy that he did that for me. Now we've got hooks and things. And I put a basket here for slippers because it's getting cold. So we take our shoes off and we put our slippers on, and I love it. And this is after lunch. So we should technically have all of our deep cleaning things done. There are a few things out, but I would take this over, like, this is what I mean by there's a few dishes there, but that's something that I can easily tackle, right? It's not something that feels overwhelming or super hard. So we're back to finish our chat. So that's a real look at our house, and I have loved the shifts that I've seen in our family this month and how we are really being good stewards of the things that God's blessed us with. We have really shifted our mindset of caring well for what we have, as well as being encouraging to one another. I don't hear as much bickering about who's going to do what, or I always do so much and this person doesn't do anything, because each of them has their own things they're responsible for. And we really made it a habit of giving each other high fives and saying good job and all of that stuff. And I really had to shift and think about, how am I showing up? How can I be more positive? How can I give more encouragement in these situations, and looking for things to say great job for instead of just micromanaging? So that is something that I've really, really appreciated this month. I would say our biggest win was the home reset. Doing that home reset really set the stage for us continuing to maintain everything. And I'm so grateful for the tools that we had available for setting up all of that stuff. So I would love to hear, what is your win this month? What was your biggest win for the month, and what systems does your family have in place? What rhythms do you have in place that you really enjoy? We're going to be carrying this theme into December, as well as slowing it down for Advent season. More about that in the next video. Take care.